Under fire mortality, if I were to choose one data to check whether a country is doing well or not, I would probably use that, because across countries, mothers and fathers feel the same way about losing children. And it also shows something about the healthcare system and about how we take care of the vulnerable. In 1973, when I was born, Norway was like Malaysia is today when it comes to child mortality and income per capita. So more or less like Romania is as well today. And when my mother was born in 1937, we were like Peru. When my grandmother was born in 1898, we were like Uganda. When I think of my grandmother, I don't think of my developing grandmother. I just think of my grandmother. And I think that's part of the mental shift that we need to do. We need to see people in other places, in other countries, and development more like we see our own family. That we are all interconnected and that we are in this together. These kids are in a tough life situation. It's cold in Ulaanbaatar, and they get to stay inside the tent and learn for a few hours every day. And I started talking to them, and I was asking them, so what do you want to do when you grow up? And it took them a while before they started going, but then they said, one said, I want to be a police officer, a girl said, I want to be a politician, and another one said that he wanted to be a doctor. And it just goes to shows that no matter what our backgrounds are, where we are, we all have the same or similar dreams and aspirations. That is something that unites us as human beings. She is the CEO of this mill. We are now in Burundi, and she said that she had never been able to go to school herself. But she had 7 children. All of them went to school, and the oldest one was now at university. And you could just see the pride and the quality of life that she was feeling from that fact. So that goes to show also a little bit about what dignity, access to a dignified life means to people. Do you have a piece of paper and a pencil? You can pull that out. And I want you to write 2 things. One, I want you to write what you are for. It's good to have a goal, because without a goal it's difficult to score. And the second thing I want you to write down is what you want to do the next year to increase someone else's dignity.
I am for happiness for everybody and accomplishment of purpose, for people to be able to accomplish their purpose. And in the following year, as president of the Students' Association in my faculty, I will sustain and help them to gain a vision of interconnectedness and the perception of control over the future. I'd like us to do a little exercise. If everyone can just stand up. This is going to be fun, right? You love that when someone that's lecturing asks you to stand up and do something. Now, I want you to turn to the person next to you, shake that person's hand, and say, I will change the world. Right? And then you do it the other way, and you say, look them in the eye, and say, I will change the world.
We can do it together. Yes.
Both sides? Okay, great. You can sit back down. It's when we meet people face to face. When we see people in the eye, that's when our morals are challenged and our ethics are formed, right? It's not about everyone else. It's about you and it's about me. What will we do? Right? That's our challenge. We are the ones we've been waiting for.
What do you think that are the main problems that are slowing down the development process?
People are disengaged. I think we are too often discussing with other people that also want to change the world to the better and also want to end extreme poverty. We're discussing amongst ourselves and using all our energy to convince the other guy, convince everyone else that the other guy is wrong, while as we both want the same thing. So I think that the biggest problem is that the people that are disengaged, that really don't have that type of will to positive change.
Why not take this money directly to the grassroots with developmental project, direct investment?
There is different ways of doing it. I think we need to support institutions, create stronger democratic governance. I think that's really important. That's sort of one of the pillars of development. So we can't only work from people to people or person to person. We need to also work with institutions to actually get the wave really going. I think that this is Africa-centric. I think that we see a lot of positive signs in Africa. There is economic growth, there's more gender equality, there's better health, there's more kids in schools than ever before. There's a lot of things that are going better in Africa. But obviously we would like to see more quickly and faster and better. But there is progress that's been made. That's an important point that I would like to emphasize.